Oh, hi and welcome everyone. This is the Hobo Prepper and I am Friar Tuck. Thank you for joining me. Okay, so I am feeling a little bit better. Yesterday was the first day I didn't sleep all day long. So I also got a chance to talk to a friend and was asking for some content suggestions like working. But anyways, welcome. I am the Hobo Prepper. So one of the things I want to talk about, and I've talked about this before, history repeats itself. We go through, cycles, over and over again. And one of the things that I have been really big on is the collapse of 1342. So if you have... if you've ever done any, there's very little information about this online. Many 2008 crash. There was a guy by the name of Daniel Estalon. He was a retired Spanish intelligence officer, and one of the things that he was. So I mean, I did go and I kind of researched it. I never got a chance to get the book because when I had the time I was too poor, and when I had the money I didn't have the time to be able to sit back and to read the book. But I did watch some of his informational lectures on it because apparently, at least in Europe, this is something that a lot of people are, or at least a lot of the intelligence agencies are aware of. And so back in the 1300s, I don't know, there is the a Netflix series. It's like the Bourgeois or something like that, where it kind of actually gives you a period piece of what happened back then. But there was a fight between the Vatican Bank and the what is called the Venetian black nobility. And there was a fight over something called usury. Now, what is usury? Usury is compound interest. So it used to be that if you wanted to go borrow money, that you couldn't charge compound interest because you can't make more money than is in existence, but you can charge a fee. And so the Vatican Bank would charge a fee. So instead of charging, 10% interest compound for all these years until you can no longer pay it back, constantly creating more debt, you would pay a 10% fee. So if you borrowed $5,000, you would owe another $500 on top of that as a fee. That way you would be able to. You'd be able to pay it back, and so that was the proper way to loan out money. Well, the Venetian banks, with their greed and their desire to be able to make money and stuff like that, they wanted to charge compound interest, and so this was something that there became a fight about. And later on, the Catholic Bank would end up losing out on this battle, and that's how we got the Federal Reserve System that we have now, and some of the other things that are issues that we have right now. Okay. Wow, it seems like I have people coming in and then coming out. Okay, so anyways, what would end up happening is that the King of England would end up, what's the word I'm looking for? The King of England would end up defaulting on a loan to the second largest bank in the world, which happened to be one of the Venetian black nobility's banks. And because of that, it started a domino effect, and that domino effect caused the whole banking system to turn on its head and to collapse on itself. And with that happening, is three things. It would lead us into the Dark Ages. It would lead us into being as bad as it was, because there wasn't enough money to be able to research any cures, to be able to find out what was causing it, so that they could actually mitigate the response to it. And so, as these banks collapsed, it caused society to backslide into, out of its, I guess you'd say its renaissance or whatever, into something more like the Dark Ages. And this is something that we're on the process of repeating right now. And this is something that I think is going to be that's going to be more and more relevant as we watch our whole banking system collapse on itself. It started with some of these other banks that are collapsing. And so, the question is why are these banks collapsing? And I'd like to point you to a book, if you would like to read the book. It is called The Bilderbergers by Daniel Estalon, and that will talk about the Venetian black nobility, the collapse of 1342, and kind of give you a little bit of history behind that. However, with that being said, what's happening now, I would like to point you to a guy by the name of George Gammon. George Gammon did a great video a few weeks back talking about how we would get to the CBDC, or the digital currency that all these federal banks want us to have. And something that he said that was really interesting: digital currency, this isn't the first time that this has ever happened. When Russia became the USSR and under the Soviet bloc, they had a central ledger, which is the equivalent of of what we're going through with the CBDC. But he also is talking about how these banks are being intentionally collapsed. So one of the things that he was saying that makes these banks intentionally collapsing is that when they're going and they're putting the money in a safe spot. So like when you go and you buy a CD, what the bank does is it goes and it buys a bond, and if the bond is paying 3%, and they'll pay you 2% and take 1% for themselves, because they're essentially middlemaning it and getting a discount rate at the window. Well, what's happening is because all these banks are so tied up in bonds, because that's where they stick their extra cash so that they can remain solvent and grow their asset base and so on and so forth. What's happening is, sorry guys, it is really loud this morning. What's happening is that with the interest rates that are going up, so if you bought a bond at 2% and now the interest rate is at 5%, well, nobody wants your 2% bond $925. And selling it at $925 means that you're selling it at a loss. And so this is why a lot of the banks are losing money, because why go buy a bond with a lower interest rate when you can go right now to the Fed window and buy one for 5% and make an extra 2%? I mean, only a fool would do something like that unless you're selling it at a discount rate. And so as these banks are constantly buying and selling bonds, this is why they're going upside down. So with the Federal Reserve raising interest rates, they're intentionally collapsing the banking system, so that there are only just a few banks that are tied to the central ledger system, or this CBDC. But I would recommend that you go through and watch some of his recent videos over the last couple of weeks if you really want to understand it. The guy is really smart, and he really dumbs it down for the average layman to understand what is really going on in our financial system. And so again, what's going to happen, and how does this relate to the collapse of 1342? It relates to the collapse of 1342 because sorry, I was distracted. It relates to the collapse of 1342 because in the, and it caused us to backslide because we didn't have the money to continuously perpetuate sorry guys, I'm gonna move. There are a lot of people around here. So anyways, they're getting to a point to where this is going to stymie progress to where we can't we can't do anything anymore as far as progressing ourselves as far as growing, as far as technological advancement, which in some sense that's a good thing, but in other sense that's not a good thing, because you're going to have a lot of businesses that are going to go out of business. You're going to have a lot of people that are going to be hurting financially because we've been allowed to be reckless for so long that us being responsible, that's something that is going to be something new. The last time we had to be responsible was after the Great Depression. So, but it is what it is, I guess. So anyways, is there anyone? Oh, I want to show you this dog. Hold on, let me see. See this dog? He's a feral dog. And he followed me to the store yesterday. And he seems to be my friend. I wonder if he's going to follow me back on trail tomorrow. I'm going to be on trail tomorrow. I got no choice. Unless they pay me the money that they owe me, which I don't think they are. So let me kind of give you an update since I've got quite a few of you in here now. If anybody wants to say hi in chat, I have not seen anything. So, but let me give you an update. So, yesterday was the first day that I didn't sleep all day. My brain is still kind of, I got foggy brain and stuff like that. But I'm sitting here, I'm waiting for these people to pay me, and I don't think they're going to pay me. I think they just sent me a little bit of money to kind of hope that, if they paid me a little bit, that I would just shut up and go away. And, that's the thing is, I now understand why small businesses struggle to find employees. It's kind of hard as a business owner to, oh, hey Jeremy, how's the weather in Indiana? So it's kind of hard for small businesses to be able to hire people, when you've got shady businesses like this that don't pay. So when I was trying to hire people and stuff like that, now I understand the apprehension that because I was a small 2-man operation, they didn't have the faith that I would pay them, because it's fairly common amongst all of these some of these new startups that they will just run up hours and not pay people because they can get away with it. And as an employee, you show up to do an honest day's work for an honest day's pay. And the last thing you want to do is you want to be fighting for your pay, or having to deal with the hassle of getting paid. Now, I never had any problem paying my employees, and whenever I hired people and brought them to work for me, I always made sure that I paid them well. So I don't understand why there are shady business owners like this, but I wish I could go back and just edit out anything good that I said about Boondocks, because quite frankly, they're a blemish on the small business community. They don't deserve to be in business. They are what is hurting small businesses and what makes it hard for them to grow. Because if you're an honest business owner and you wanna pay people because you know what you can pay. Sitting at the campsite with my coffee, watching you, getting ready to tear camp down and head home. Oh, nice. You doing a day hike, or are you just camping in a state park? So, but it's just as a former small business owner, I now understand why I struggled the way I did. And I just, it's really, really sad that I have to that I'm having to deal with this. And quite frankly, I'm not even sure I want to go work for another small business again. I mean, now that I've been through it, I understand why people look at it and they kind of got to go with a gut feeling. Doesn't matter if if you try and give them, whatever comfort. I used to tell people, it's like, look, and I thought I was doing a good thing by telling people this, but I think I was probably hurting myself. I would tell them, look, I will skip out on all my bills and not pay my rent to make sure to pay you. You never have to worry about your pay. Well, I guess telling somebody something like that makes them think that, oh, well, you know, you may not be able to pay your rent, so, you know, you're gonna end up screwing them. And the thing is I wasn't really trying to say that I was financially unstable. What I was trying to do was to give them the comfort, to let them know that if for some reason I couldn't make my I couldn't make payroll, I would go to the nth degree to make sure that I could make payroll, because, you know, I never hired or wanted to work anybody more than what I was getting paid, you know, and I billed by the hour, so it was a lot easier for me to make sure, because if that person worked 5 hours, I billed for 5 hours, and I made my couple bucks an hour on top of what it was that they that they did. So, you know, it is what it is. So wife and kids on buddies land weekend of fishing and family time. Nice. Isaac, hi, how are you? Hello, you inspire me to become a nomad. Saving some equipment right now. Have to make an off-grid e-bike setup. You know what? Well, I mean, if you've got the leg stamina for the bike, I will tell you that unless you are patient, my biggest problem is I push myself too hard. Like, even my first day on trail, I showed up and I was having muscle spasms. So one of the things that you should really consider is that, you know, as a nomad, you're going to move slower. You're going to take your time. You're going to relax, but you also need to get between supply points. And there's really not a lot of off-road unless you're moving out west. There's not a lot of off-road for bikes. Now, if you do the hiking thing, you know that there's a lot more off-road, and, you know, you can be in the forest and be more incognito that way. So that is, you know, that is one thing that you guys can consider. So anyways, it looks like I did more than 15 minutes today. So got 2 pet goats. Offer lawn and brush mowing. Serious suggestion. There's another guy that nomads with the mini herd. Yes, I've seen the guy. You're not the first person to tell me this, and I have looked into the guy. I haven't gotten to that point yet. I mean, I just got my channel monetized. I've still got to wait, you know, like 60 days until I get my first payment. So I am relying still on my tip jar, and I was relying on the money that I was supposed to be making from Boondocks, but Boondocks don't pay. So I thought that would get me through the 60 days that I needed to that I needed to wait to get my first payment from YouTube, but apparently, you know, I'm going to be back to struggling like I was in the beginning, which I'm okay with. I'm figuring out how to do it and how to be okay with it. You know, and my food stamps actually next month when they renew, that is the last month I have food stamps. So either I have to figure out a way to get food stamps again, or I have to, or I should be making some money some way, somehow. So, you know, things are about to get really, really interesting for me. I thought that I had my plan B in action, but, you know, again, it's, you know, when you go work for shady business owners that, you know, run up hours and then make up reasons to fire you and then not pay you. I mean, it's really hard to be able to get ahead, or even get some sort of stability in life. Okay, so yes, don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to share. And I love your comments, guys. I love watching you guys, you know, the interactions that we have and stuff like that. So, you know, you guys are kind of you guys are my lifeblood. So I truly enjoy you guys. So, you know, keep watching, and keep enjoying these videos. And if you ever have content suggestions, don't hesitate to leave a content suggestion. So before I start closing this video out, please tell me if you guys have any questions, anything that you would like me to touch on as far as my trip, as far as hiking, as far as bugging out, as far as the nomad life, because these are the struggles that you're gonna have. And oh, come on. You know, these are the struggles that you're gonna have. Oh, Okay. Huh. Sorry, guys. I usually get good signal, but for some reason, I'm not getting good signal today. Normally, I mean, I've been completely uninterrupted until today. Okay. So anyways, if you guys have any questions, please ask away in your questions. One, and then two, you know, the way the nomad life works is that these are the struggles that you're going to have. This is where you're going to struggle at, and you're going to have your issues. So these are things that you as individuals can you know, be prepared for, whether it is, you know, when you're bugging out, when you're when you have to go on the road because the world's falling apart, or at least your neck of the woods is starting to fall apart. So this is something that you as individuals need to be prepared for. So, you know, something that that I would like to, you know, bring to your attention. Hey, if any of you guys want to help me out in my tip jar, don't forget, after this video, I always put all my links down there. If you are not a subscriber, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, good that you're feeling better. Just made it. Bushcraft, I'm glad to see you, man. So I am really glad to see you. So I talked about the collapse of 1342. I think that might be something for you to look into, and just kind of, I think you might like that. But anyways, you know, if you guys are not subscribers, don't forget to subscribe. If you are subscribers, don't forget to hit that bell notification so that you're notified every time I put a new video up. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, I have affiliate links. I have my Patreon, which is how you support me. In another ways, it's just a monthly contribution. I'm still working out the logistics of it. I have not heard from Paranoid in quite some time. I hope he's doing okay. But him and I were working on some. Him and I were working. Sorry, guys, my brain is still. Likes are free, and it helps me in the algorithm. The longer you watch, there's three things that help me in the algorithm. Okay, the first one is the likes, and when you hit the like button, it shows the engagement. The other thing is when you watch the video and you stay quite some time on the video. So like if it's a 30-minute video, you watch at least 50-60% of it. And then the other thing is what's called session time. Session time is what really pushes you out in the algorithm. So if I'm the first video you watch and you go watch 7 or 8 other videos, I get credit for all the other videos that you watch after mine. And so because because you're staying on YouTube, they're going to keep pushing my videos out. And plus, you know, like, because if you just watch my video and then you close it out and you're done with YouTube, what it tells YouTube is that I'm not a good enough content creator to keep you interested in it. So if you guys are planning on watching my videos regularly, make sure that I'm the first video that you watch, because when I'm the first video you watch and then you go watch other videos, it increases my session time, which then pushes me out to the other which pushes me out to the other new potential users, because it's what's called session time. And Bushcraft, if you were unaware of this, this is how you grow your channel as well, is that you really need to make sure to increase your session time. So, you know, with you doing shorts a lot of the time, that's something that I would really look at is, you know, as long as people are watching at least 30 seconds and they're watching about 10 or 15 other shorts on top of you, that increases your exposure, and then it will help your channel grow. So snorkeling goggles to start reclaiming golf balls and sell back to the golf course. Okay, whatever that means. Okay, guys, so does anybody have any questions before I close out this video? I'll give you guys another couple minutes and then I'm gonna go ahead and close it out. I am gonna go relax. My guts feel like somebody took a baseball bat to them and then ran them through a meat grinder. Yeah, one other thing is it kind of feels like my butthole's stuck in the on position. I know it sounds bad, but oh man, I really food poisoning sucks. Food poisoning is the worst thing. I'm just building a library through the shorts. Don't need a 20-minute video to teach or not. No, you don't. And quite frankly, with the short attention span that people have, that is, you're doing it perfect. I like watching your videos. If you notice, whenever I see one come up, so I have the bell notification on for you because, yeah, every time you have a new video comes up, I usually watch it. But the thing is sometimes you could do great if people are just watching your content and then switching off and not watching anything else. Then, favorite part of the U.S. for your lifestyle. Honestly, I think the West Coast, and from the Rockies west is the best place to be a nomad because one, it is more open land. You can go out into the forest if you want to. The society is more open to the homeless population, as far as being kinder to them. There's more resources and that will help you, versus on the East Coast where they are trying to push you out of the cities, and they look at you as a blemish and they want to get you out. Now, from what I understand, if you go into the upper Northeast, they're a lot kinder to you, but definitely the South and Southeast are not kind to you if you are nomadic. But I will tell you that when it comes to finding side hustles and side work, it depends upon your creativity, your skill set, and your knowledge level to be able to find side work. So I hope that answers your question, Isaac. So does anybody else have any more questions? I got a couple more minutes before I close out this video. So tomorrow, I need to be contacting the Georgia Department of Labor. I will also be contacting the health department. And I will also have to start raising money to do a legal process. These people have pissed me off to the point where, in some instances, it's a little personal. And those of you that have heard me talk about like Freeman theology and the fact that I used to, study and do a lot of that stuff, you'll find out. Come on. Okay. So generally when I run hold on, okay. Sorry guys, the signal keeps coming in and out. I think it might be because of the clouds. Okay, but generally when I run a legal process, I don't lose. And so one of the things that I'm gonna definitely do is make sure to run these guys through the ringer. Because I don't like what they're doing. They're a blemish to the small business community, and it's personal because it's part of the reason why I struggled as a small business. So anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.